Everyone, this is DyanaRozay. Welcome to my channel. You guys, if you are here in the chat, please hit that like button. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you guys already know what to do. Let me know where you are coming from, what city you're coming from, what state you're coming from. We are going to get started very shortly. I see that there is 10 people that is watching. Go ahead and hit the like. Even if you're in the bushes, we can't tell that you're in the bushes if you hit the like. It just means that we don't see you, okay? So go ahead and hit the like button if you could, and then we're going to get started on some topics. We're going to talk RHOA. We're going to talk Love and Marriage Huntsville. We're going to talk Belle Collective. What else we got? We got Cardi B and Tasha K. We're going to talk about them. We're also going to talk about, Martell Holt did something interesting. I want to talk to you guys about that. But go ahead and let me know where you are coming from. Good morning, Erica. Hi, Stephanie. Appreciate you guys for joining me this afternoon. Hey, Cinnamon. Hey, Miss Mary. Hey, everybody. Thank you. Welcome into the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I also posted the membership link to the top of the chat if you are interested. Hey, Texas. Hey, Columbus, Georgia. Hey, Philly. What's up, Chicago? Hey, Cali, Kentucky, Los Angeles. Hey, guys. Oh, I see from the DMV. I need to post some of you guys up here when I see someone that I don't recognize. I have Rochester, New York. Hey, Demita, how's it going? Indiana, Miss Nola. Hey, how are you? Let's see. Grosse Point. Hey, Grosse Point. That's Nora Brown. And then Miss Carolyn is in Chicago. Chicago is my favorite city. It is one of my favorite cities. I love it there. It's beautiful to me. Let's see. Georgia. Hey, what's up, Georgia? Toronto, Canada. Hi, how are you? Augusta, Georgia. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat, you guys. Let's see. Gladys said that she loves my hat. She's coming in from North Carolina. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Okay, guys. Oh, we got San Francisco, California. Oh, love it. We got Huntsville, Alabama. Welcome, Sharon from Huntsville. Okay, guys. Thank y'all so much for showing up for me today. I appreciate you so much. We got a lot of topics that we're going to get through, and I want to hear what y'all have to say about all of it, okay? And of course, I would like for you to come up. I'm going to drop that link for you to come up in just a bit. But yeah, let's get started. A lot of you may have watched the show last night. I wanted to go live last night, but I was out and about. I posted that to my IG stories, and we ended up getting back a little late. So I didn't get a chance to watch the show until later. And then I posted my review last night. So I'm going to give you guys, I gave you guys a review, of course, and a little bit of commentary, but I'm going to give you additional commentary on Love and Marriage Huntsville right now, okay? So that along with Belle Collective, if you guys didn't watch, we had Belle Collective. And then someone hit me up in my email, actually. They sent me an email about something that Martell was up to, which, by the way, I had already shared this with you guys in my commentary, the one that I did from Queen Sheba's interview. I had shared with you guys what was up. I shared with you guys what was up, so I'm going to repeat it here. Some of you heard it. A lot of you may not have, because, sometimes people fast forward and stuff like that. But I hit a lot of points without, giving you her entire commentary or her entire interview, because that's her interview. She deserves to get the credit for that interview, and people should go over and watch. But I tried to hit some points, some important ones, and it is playing out right now before our very eyes. We're going to talk about that too, okay? So let's see. I got 100 and how many? 137 are watching on this fine Sunday. Okay, might be a few people at brunch, but we're going to get into this right now. 137, 63 likes. Please hit that like button, okay? And let me know that you are watching and that, you appreciate spending a little time, whatever you got going on. Maybe it's clean the house day. Maybe you just came back from church. Whatever you're doing, you took time out to stick it out with me for a little while. So let's get into this, okay? First up, and I also want to thank all of my mods. I called out 2 of you, I believe. If you guys see anybody with a little star behind their name, like Demita Joe, that is a member. So make sure that, if you want to become a member, you can. I want to thank all of my members who showed up for me today. And then anyone that you see with a wrench behind their name, those are mods. So they are going to be paying attention to the comments and basically making sure, let me give a little bit of instruction here, making sure that, we don't have any type of hate speech or anything like that. We'd love for you guys to give your opinions. But we don't want any hate speech in the comments. We don't want any spam. We don't want any solicitation. Okay. So hate speech, spam, solicitation, those are the things that need to be blocked. Everything else you can pretty much let rock. Okay. People have different opinions and that is okay. And that's it. Okay. Let's get to the live now. Okay. 169 of you watching right now, 88 likes. Go on ahead and get me to like 125 if you could. Now let's get with the first topic, which is Miss Cardi B and Tasha K. Okay, I didn't have enough time to get my my pictures up, so I'm going to be putting my phone up here. Hopefully you can see it on my phone. Let me see if the best way to put it. So that's a picture of Tasha K and Cardi B. It's bad because the lighting didn't reflect well. But what I want to say is this. Y'all know that Tasha K filed bankruptcy, right? And she's been showing herself out on the beach and on vacation and things like that. But she filed for bankruptcy. She said that between her and her husband and the income they make every month, their debt is far more. Okay. Oh, thank you, Nicole, for becoming a new member. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for rocking with me. I appreciate that. Anyways, she said that her debt far exceeds the money that she's bringing in. And I think it was something like they bring in together around $30,000 a month. And I believe she has 3 children. Anywho, she ended up filing for bankruptcy to protect some of her assets because Cardi B went after everything. She said she wanted permission to have her liquidate things, the cars, the houses, whatever. I don't care if you are living in a hotel week to week. All of the stuff that you do have belongs to me because I'm going to get my $4.3 million. Okay. That was a judgment and it included her attorney fees. It included punitive damages along with what the judgment for what they thought was accurate. Right. So altogether 4.3. Well, looks like there was another judge who said he's putting the brakes on Cardi B, and everything that I've read has said that the debt owed to her right now is $3.3 million, which strongly suggests that Tasha may have paid $1 million to Cardi B. And I wanted to know what you guys thought about that. That'll be one of the topics that we discuss. Okay. What do you think about, right now, Tasha's like, I'm throwing in the towel. I don't have anything left to give. The income that's coming in isn't enough to cover the current debts that I have, including the lawsuit. But it looks like she may have made a little bit of restitution on the lawsuit, which is why another judge may have came in and said, okay, we're going to stop it here. There will be no way for her to, to live in a house or to feed her family or whatever. I wanted to know what you guys thought about that. I wanted to know if you thought it was fair. If you thought it was fair for the judge to say that. How far is too far when you have a lawsuit that is looking for, monetary damages, and those monetary damage or whatever it is that they're asking in restitution is way more than you could ever pay. Like you would be paying it for the rest of your life, and it could possibly leave you completely destitute. You wouldn't be able to feed your family, your children, yourself, keep a roof over your head. Let me know what y'all think about that. Okay. Someone said 2 kids. Okay. I appreciate that. I remember her saying she had a daughter. I really don't know a lot about her life. I'm not going to lie. I know she was recently pregnant, and I didn't know if she had a daughter and a son and was pregnant or if it was just the 2 children. So thank you for the clarification. Okay. So that was one of my stories. Let's see what else I wanted to talk to you guys about. Let's talk RHOA. I like to bring this up under the RHOA heading, and this is Kim and Croy. They are still fighting, y'all. They are still fighting, and things are still leaking out to social media and to the public. Apparently, Kim is accusing Croy of locking her out of the family business. And I think it's called the Bierman Closet, which is where they sell their, I guess, old designer clothing for herself, for Croy, and for her children. So shoes, clothing. We know that she was selling her wigs there. I told you guys a couple of days ago that it was reported, it was in the police report, that Croy had taken her really expensive handbags and jewelry and locked them up in the basement. And now it's being said that Croy has also stopped her from selling those items on what she's referring to as the family business. So she's saying that she has every right to sell those personal items, and that this business existed long before the divorce. And right now he has basically changed the passwords on this account so that she can no longer use a business that was actually making money for them. And if I read it correctly and remember it correctly, they said that it was, it was be stretches of time. Like sometimes they would sell things, they would put new things up. Then other times, it would just go for months without any sales. Well, most recently, since this divorce started, the sales ramped back up. And now Croy is like, you don't get to sell this stuff because this is considered family asset. And we are not going to let you sell all of these things prior to us going to court and having a judge make a settlement. So let me know what y'all think about that, because this is crazy. This is ugly. And y'all remember, it was Croy who filed first. Kim came in second, but it looked like they had both made a decision right about there. The police was actually called to the property the day before Croy went down and filed for divorce. And that was after, you guys, oops, I'm so sorry that my phone is making this noise. And that was after, you guys, when the police came, they said, listen, if we come back up to this property again, we're taking you from the property. That's what they told to Croy. We're taking you from the property. And then they told Kim to go to a neighbor's house, go to the neighbor's house, make sure you're out of the house if he comes back or if there's any other issues. And then Kim said that she didn't want any problems. She didn't want to draw attention to it. And she'd like for this to stay out of the news. But Page 6 ended up getting the police report. So we were able to see that all of this happened the day before. Croy said, before you muddy my name, I'm going down and I'm going to file for divorce, and I want the house and I want the kids and I want alimony and I want child support. So that was one of the other stories. Now let's get into something else. So I wanted to say this because this was like a big deal. Y'all know we were talking about the custody paperwork, Martel and Melody's custody paperwork being shared across social media platforms. Hold on one second. Let me see. Erica Fleming, I just want to read this because I asked you guys for your opinion. Erica Fleming said that I think it's fair due to the fact that Cardi doesn't need that money. This is interesting. I appreciate this this response, Miss Erica. She said the point was made and Tasha has suffered, so it makes no sense to keep pursuing something that she doesn't have, especially if she has paid some. Now, that makes sense to me, Erica. I'm just asking because I was like, well, this is going to be interesting to see how they pull this out of her, because she doesn't make that type of money, but we can't say what she has and what she doesn't have, because she also had appeared to allegedly, because I really don't know. People were suggesting that maybe she was hiding some things, but I do know that the new amount, it was 4.3, and what they're saying is owed is 3.3, and now she has filed for bankruptcy. So I appreciate you, Erica, for that comment. Okay, so the other thing I was saying was about the custody documents, Martel and Melody's custody documents that were all over social media, right? And we found out later that they are public, unfortunately. A lot of people were saying that's not true. Custody documents are never public. There was a whole lot of conversation about that, right? And it has since come out that it 100% true. It is public. It is 100% true. Two parties, both parents in Alabama, the state of Alabama must sign off to make those records or seal those records. And it looks like one of the parents didn't. You can guess which one, right? Anywho, there was two platforms that I remember speaking about it, even though I'm sure there was plenty more. So I don't want to just, pick on one or the other. I remember Mims talking about it first, and he didn't share a whole lot, but I don't remember. I remember seeing one video from him, and you guys have shared with me that there were other videos, but I just don't remember. So, or I didn't watch them. I shouldn't say I don't remember. I watched one. And then there was also a platform with Sherelle's World. And Sherelle ended up giving a little more detail into some things. And she appeared to have been taking a side, Martell's side, in the situation. And what happened after the interview that Martell had given to Queen Sheba is Sherelle came out and she apologized to Melody. She said, "I'm sorry. After watching that interview, I have a new set of eyes on this." So I've had conversations with you guys where I said, and I'm saying this also as someone who has friends and family who's gone through this. A lot of times what they say is, you guys don't get to see what he does to me. You don't get to see what this person does to me. And when we don't see it, it's out of mind, out of sight, out of mind, period. What we had an opportunity to see without anyone pushing any buttons or any of those things is someone tell on themselves. And in my opinion, it changed a lot of people's opinions. It put a lot more favor and grace in Melody's camp. But excuse me, I'm reading the comments at the same time, you guys. So hold on. The records that Color Me Pink has are real records and the truth about, okay. And yes, I understand that. But I wanted to say that for me, it seems like it put a lot more favor and grace in her camp. And it pulled some out of Martell's. And I think that if we have to pay more attention, that keeping things in the dark, it's always best to have things in the light. Let's just put it like that. It's always best to let things come to light, because if it doesn't, it allows that person to continue their BS. That is why when people are saying hold people accountable, you can't hold accountable what you don't believe. You can't hold accountable what you don't see. And so that is what I wanted to communicate. Travelnista says that the interview was very revealing. Correct. Travelnista, a lot of people have said that's who we always known him to be, but you didn't get a chance to see it. You didn't get a chance to see it the way you got a chance to see it in that interview. And that's the point I wanted to make. So we saw someone who was really going hard, for Martell. I blame this on Melody. Okay. Oh, I shouldn't be making fun of her voice. I apologize. I mimic people a lot. I mean, no harm. It is just something that I have always done. So my apologies, Sherelle. That I wasn't trying to say make fun of your voice. I have an interesting voice as well. So anywho, the point I was making was she appeared to have been going hard for Mel. And it was interesting to, see her say, listen, I was wrong. And I apologize. So, and I don't know if I said that wrong. She appeared to have been going hard against Melody, and she came back and said she apologized. And others probably have too. And what we also saw, because I also said this, I said when Melody had went on her platform and said she was aware of it, and she talked about the entire thing after Carson Blue had came out, I thought that her story was going to hit a lot of major platforms. I said, this is going to go national because this is a pretty big deal. But it looks like it coming out of Martell's own mouth is what actually made it hit bigger and larger platforms. Okay, so I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to know your opinions on that. Okay. The other thing, so if you guys watched my commentary on the interview, you would have heard me say, I gave you guys a story about, or I shouldn't say story, I gave you guys some definitions about narcissistic injury, when someone that is a narcissist believe that they have been harmed or injured by someone that they believe should have coveted them, protected them, someone they admired, the family member, whomever. When they believe that they've been injured by that person, how they can go after them for months, for years, for a lifetime, and do really crazy things. But it's a point of them winning and bringing someone down, whoever that person is, in the eyes of those that love them or admire them or their friends or family or kids. It can be anybody. There's no one off limits. They're going to do it to anybody, and to make sure that you know this is what your mother did, this is what your friend did, this is what your daughter did, okay? This is what your employee did at work, whatever the case. Then I gave an example, okay? Because I'm not going to call him that, because I don't have I'm not a medical doctor. I can't give that diagnosis. So I am saying what it appears to be, in my opinion, to be a narcissistic injury. Okay. And in that, we saw Martell kind of gleefully tell Queen Sheba that, I'm sorry, I'm reading something about an arrest. Oh, okay. Kind of gleefully tell Queen Sheba, the reason you don't see the kids on television or on social media anymore is because of me, because of what one of the kiddos said on the show. And then I explained to you guys that in third season, Melody and Martell were doing co-parenting. Y'all remember that? Or co-parenting counseling. They were seeing a counselor. I think we only saw them do one visit. And then they were supposed to have a meeting with the children, which they did. They did it in a park. And then the kids were kind of saying, we don't want to see you guys get married again. We don't want to see you with a girlfriend. And we don't want to see you with a boyfriend, mommy. Like, remember that? And then one of the kids, I think it was Boss Baby, forgive me if it was not, said, I know who your girlfriend is, Daddy. And Martell makes a face, what are you talking about? And she said, we saw her at the hotel. I saw her at the hotel with you. And then he makes a face. And then Melody said, she ain't lying. And he said that he cited that as the reason the kids are no longer allowed on TV or social media. That again happened in third season. It seemed like something that he let pass, but during the court case, it looks like that was something he needed to win at. And with that being said, they don't appear to be on social media as much anymore, or on the show. We haven't seen them this season. And I told you guys that I missed them. Excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. But he cited that as the reason. Love Jazz said that she thought questioning the paternity of the child would be a reason to keep them off the show. Okay, there was a lot of reasons. Okay, we should have said Wanda. You would have thought that Wanda and the shit that she was saying was a problematic for him. But that's not what he cited as being problematic. What he cited as being problematic was that moment in season 3. And he was happy about that. And I thought, wow. And I agree with you, Love Jazz. There was a whole lot of other things that he could have said. It was, I'm getting back at Melody, was what he really wanted to say. That was really what I think when I watched it, because, I'm watching it. I watch the show. I'm not going to say I get everything right. I don't. But I pay attention to stuff like that. And someone's saying that they are on social media, and they aren't on her page anymore. We should say that Melody doesn't show us the kiddos the way she used to on her page, right? They still have a page because their page was referred to as public figures. And so, but we haven't seen any more posts recently. Now, with that being said, Martell's youngest son with Arion does have a social media page. And you know that Martell recently went to the Spider-Man premiere. And those photos are on that page. And it's being spoken in the person, like, I'm going to, it's being spoken from Martell's point of view. Let's put it that way. My daddy has me. I'm about to go to the premiere with my daddy, that type of thing. So it looks like he's taking over with Knox what Melody was doing with their children. So I think it's unfortunate. I think it's hurtful. Clearly. And I want to know what you guys think about it as well. Okay. Let's see. We have how many people are in the chat right now? 476 of you are watching. 236 of you hit the like button. Go ahead and give me the 400. Humor me. Okay. Humor me. Give me the 400. Let's see what happens. It was interesting. Okay. It was very interesting. So I'm hoping you guys can come up and give me some experiences that you have, because really, there's no point of us having these conversations if they're not going to help the next person. We're looking to help someone else who may find themselves in this situation. Melody may have some resources or a platform that puts her in a position where we can see it and talk about it. Not a lot of people do. Some people are suffering in silence, and they might be able to talk to us here, or they might be watching this live, and that's how they get a little bit of healing, a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of, you know what, this is how I'm going to handle what's going on with me moving forward. So that's what I'm looking to do here. Okay. Let's see. Sorry about that. Reading comments, making sure I stay connected to the chat. Martell will only make people not support the kids because he's trying to hate and say with Knox. Okay. Okay. Thank you, damn Pam. And Miss Edith, I agree with you. If we watch him, he will be the reason for his own downfall. Sometimes you just got to let people rock. Sometimes you got to let people rock, and everything that they was doing and saying the day before will be the very thing they fall on their sword for, period. So I agree with you. Okay. Belle Collective, that was one of the other topics that we are going to discuss. Belle Collective, if you had an opportunity to watch Friday's episode, there were two scenes that really stood out for me. One was with Latrice, and I think she was talking to Letitia, if I'm saying her name correctly. But the two of them were having a conversation about their husbands and how their husbands are very much, back in 1950s or 60s or 70s, or hell, even the 80s, because in the 80s, which was not that long ago, okay, in the 80s, a woman could not go into a bank and have her own bank account if she was married. If she was a married woman, she could not have a bank account of her own. Her husband's name had to be on the bank account. So I want y'all to know that is not that long ago, okay? Not that long ago. This is 2023. A lot of us were around during that time. Maybe we were kids. Maybe we saw our mother try to get a bank account so that she can leave her narcissist husband, and they wouldn't let her do it. They wouldn't let her do it because she couldn't get a bank account of her own at any bank in the United States. So that being said, these two on Belle Collective, Latrice and Letitia, if I'm saying her name correctly, they were talking about how their husbands very much need to be the man of the house, the breadwinner. They want to dominate their wives. They want their wives to be very submissive to them. And Latrice was saying, I love my husband. I love him with everything in me. But I'm not this person. I'm not the person that he wants me to be. And we also saw Letitia saying, I'm about to get this apartment and I'm about to move out without him knowing. Okay, which leads us into the next part. We saw her at her new place with all of the ladies on the cast there. And then we see this man, we shouldn't call him this man, but we saw Glenn, her husband, just come walking through the door. Shouldn't even know where she stay, right? A lot of you were acknowledging, how the hell did he even know where she stay? They're in there filming and he just burst in, right? And he's making all this, and all the ladies on the set, they get up, all the ladies in that apartment get up and go running to the back screaming like, whoa, oh my God, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is crazy to watch. I don't know what's true and what's false. How did he even know you guys were there? A lot of people said to me that he saw the paperwork showing that Marie had helped Letitia get the apartment. I didn't know what he was saying when he made the comment, I know more than you think I know, and you need to mind your business with your husband and stay out of me and my wife's. Because if y'all don't remember, before Belle Collective even premiered the first season, first episode, there was rumors that were running rampant that Marie and I believe Letitia were in a relationship, that they had a side relationship. And they discussed it a little bit on the reunion. And that's why my mind went there. I thought maybe he was trying to make reference to what had happened prior to the season even starting, because they didn't address it on the season. They did address it on the reunion. And they said that there was a blogger that was hired to discuss certain things. So anyways, we can talk about that. Let me see what else you guys got to say. Let me see what you guys are doing in the follows. 305 likes, 557 watching. Please get me to 400. I appreciate you guys. All right. And then let's talk a little bit more about episode 9 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So, number 1, they got 6 more episodes before they hit the mid-season finale. Okay, mid-season finale, and they are all currently filming right now, right? So y'all can let me know what y'all think about all of that. It was really crazy. Basically, they continued the conversation about Tiffany and Sheree. My problem with the Tiffany and Sheree conversation, and I said this in my last review, in my review for episode 8, is that I don't believe that Sheree and Martell are dating. Their storyline is fake. It is false. It's hard for me to get emotional about a false storyline, because if that part is fake, it's all fake for me. I didn't. Number one, Sheree is living she has a completely different storyline on RHOA. And for the audience that's watching this together, I said in my review for episode 8, they're tanking Love and Marriage Huntsville and RHOA. That's number 1. Number 2, how do you walk in this man's house and ask him, where do you sit? Why would you ask him, do you want me to take my shoes off? You've been dating for a year. You said that you were either at his house or he was at yours. What does this mean? Like that seemed very odd. The fact that y'all didn't even kiss or hug in a way that showed yourself to be in a relationship. You look like you were coming from a hotel. It was a whole thing. It was just crazy. So that seemed ridiculous. The conversation that Marceau and Martell were having at Black prior to Tiffany even arriving, it was so animated. Some of the things that Marceau is doing was animated like a cartoon. Like he wanted people to think it was fake. It didn't even feel real. So I thought that conversation was real. It was a fake, excuse me. So for those of you who said, thank you, Dee. For those of you who said, you didn't say in this part, it's because I already told y'all my episode 8 review. I can't get emotional about something that's not real. I don't know how to make that real. I don't know how to make that real for me. So I just would rather ignore it altogether. I'm just going to pretend this is what y'all put it on the show, but you're not giving us a real storyline. And then on top of that, Martell just recently said this week, was it this week? With Queen Sheba, he's not in a real relationship. You sat there and had a conversation on the show where you said, where Sheree says, we've talked about marriage. And then you said, we don't even put labels on us. We're grown. We're just grown doing grown people's things. Then last night on the recap, Carlos had the nerve to say, I don't think they're in love with each other. I don't think they're dating. I think they might be bumping uglies. And that's it. Well, if you're just friends with benefits, why not play that storyline? Why not play that storyline instead of talking about marriage and other things? Because now that all this other information has come out about Belinda and her kids, and everybody knows, if you don't know, I'm sharing with you now, Belinda was also at the Spider-Man premiere with Martell, and Knox, who were also at the Spider-Man premiere on the red carpet. So it's just a thing. You guys, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. So we'll talk about that. Let's talk about Tisha and Marceau. They opened the show. They opened the show with Marceau coming into the house. Him and Tisha do a peck on the lips. Tisha is packing boxes. And people are suggesting that these two may be living apart. That, you know, whatever things have been happening seems like it might have rolled into real life for them. Now, I should say alleged. Let me get my banner up before people start giving me some problems. This discussion is about Love and Marriage Huntsville, all topics. I need to put all topics here. Let me edit it. Excuse me. The discussion is about reality TV. Give me a second, guys. I'm so sorry. I just don't want any problems. This discussion is about reality TV and pop culture. We'll say that. Okay. And let's get that ticker running. Okay. So it's about oops, forgot to take my my Avi off. Okay. So people are alleging right now that they may not be living together. And I had shared with you guys before the beginning of fourth season that Tisha and Marceau were very much giving me they are not living together and that they are dating. Because y'all remember Tisha was showing herself outside with Marceau all the time. And Marceau kept playing love songs and family photos in his IG and posting it to his IG page. So I said that I thought maybe they were in a process of, of a breakup and they were trying to, mend their relationship. People are suggesting that to be true right now. I do know that last weekend, Marceau and Tisha were Marceau and Tisha had some sort of party at Black and they were all there together along with some members of the cast. I saw Chris Fletcher there. Who else did I see? I know her makeup artist was there last weekend at their party, okay? And I believe this episode, a lot of the episode that we saw for episode 9, I think that was filmed maybe February, maybe beginning of March. So a couple of months ago, right? So we're seeing something that was filmed a couple of months ago. But y'all let me know what y'all think. If y'all want to talk more about that. They did say that they are renovating their current home, that they are renting an apartment, which we know they're in an apartment. I believe that Tisha did an interview with one of the YouTubers or maybe even Carlos's recap. And she said that they were in an apartment then. So I knew that they were in an apartment. I didn't know that they were renovating though. So they're saying renovating, renting an apartment and building a new house, right? And then Marceau talks about Tiffany and what she said. That's pretty much the running storyline for the whole episode. And even then, he was just being super animated. Tisha, this is what she said, Tisha, which I actually started laughing because I was like, he really is trying to act like I could give a damn about this story. But at the same time, it's funny because you do. And this is typical Marceau. Marceau stays in the women's business on the show, whether he wants to say so or not. Okay. So that was one of the scenes. What happened after that? Let me look at my notes. Excuse me, guys. That was definitely one of the scenes. Next scene, we got Big Lou. Big Lou and Tiffany. Tiffany shares with Lewis what happened, that Martell and Marceau came after her about something she said to Sheree. Again, if y'all been keeping up with my reviews, I asked, what the hell is going on with Sheree? Why wouldn't she have answered Tiffany? Or at least why didn't they show us her getting after Tiffany? Did they cut the scene? Because that's not who Sheree is. That's not who she's been on RHOA. So I was puzzled that Sheree didn't say, I want to give you what you're asking for. Like, I was puzzled by that. But Lewis listens to what his wife has to say, and he said, listen, I'm about to give them everything that they asking for. They're going to get it all. And then Tiffany makes this face. If you guys follow me on IG or on my Facebook, real Facebook, excuse me, DyanaRozay Real Talk on my private Facebook group. If y'all follow me over there, I asked y'all, what did y'all think she was saying? Because I thought she was like, oh, this is a turtle. And that's what I thought she was doing. She made a crazy face, y'all. Let me see if I can put it up. Can y'all see her face? Go to my pages if you can't see this really clearly, okay? There might be a little bit of haze on it because I have a light on over there. After that, we got we got Maurice and Kimmy. They are in the car, right? And Kimmy is having a conversation. She wants to break it down. Listen, you and I always had conversations about how I wasn't giving you enough, okay? And when I was perfectly healthy. Now I'm not feeling well. I'm getting better, but I wasn't feeling well, and I know I'm not giving you enough. So how do you feel about things? And Maurice said, I don't even care about that as long as you're okay. That's all I care about. However, in confessional, he said that it's something that he thinks about multiple times a day, even though Kimmy is sick, even with cancer. He still thinks about it. And Kimmy is still trying to keep him happy, even though I would think, and y'all can tell me if anybody's has been in this situation. I would think that if I'm in a place where I am battling something and trying to keep my mental okay, my emotional, my physical, my spiritual okay, it takes a lot to want to make someone else happy. And I know she's not the only one. I realize that other people may have found themselves in this situation, but that stressed me a little bit. I wouldn't be thinking about it. I'm just going to say that. So if anybody has a difference of opinion, I'd love to hear it. But cooking, cleaning, um, having relations with your husband, no, no, and no. No, no, and no. Okay, that's it. um, and I told you guys that my mom was sick. She didn't cook, she didn't clean, she was not expected to. We didn't want her to, even when she wanted to. Okay, I want you to only think about being happy and okay. But if those things didn't make her happy, then so be it. That could be the case too. She also had a conversation with her friends, one of her good friends. Y'all remember her? She came in and she was with her when she cut her hair. She said that my hair is tied to me feeling attractive. I've always felt like my hair was a part of me being attractive. Without my hair, losing my hair, my eyebrows, the hair on my arms, my legs, I don't feel attractive anymore. And so her and her friend had that conversation. They also talked about how chemo killed her sex drive. She has nothing to give. She doesn't get anything out of it when she's with her husband. Those are very real conversations. They brought that to the show. Last scene was the baby shower for Tiffany and Lewis. And it looks like all of her family is there. Tiffany's family was there. This is a big party, not just the cast, but it looked like a lot of Tiffany's family, friends, co-workers, maybe. They're all here to welcome in baby Ace. Welcome in Tiffany and Lewis having baby Ace, right? Melody arrives after Scott 2 and 1.0, the Fletchers, and it looks like what's her name? Stormy and her husband, right? And so the rest of the cast is sitting there eating. Oh, also, Melody got there just a little bit before Marceau and Martell. So they came in a little later as well. But all the cast is at the table and they're all discussing what Tiffany said to Sheree. So that's just, I'm hoping that this is the end of it. I hope we don't hear this ever again. But Melody comes in, she greets Tiffany. They take some pictures together, and then she makes her way over to the table with the cast. And as soon as she sits down, she says hello to everybody. I think it was Kimmy who said, "Hey, girl, how are you?" or something like that. She was real warm with her. And Melody's was like, "I'm doing great," or whatever. "Hey, girl, yeah, just everything's okay." And then I think I heard Nell say, "Should we be talking about this with Melody at the table?" And Tisha said, let's ask her. Since you're here, Mel, how do you feel? Now, if y'all remember in last episode, in episode 8, Kimmy has a conversation in confessional where she said, Melody asked us all not to talk about Martell and whoever he's dating. And I'm honoring it. She was like, I don't blame her. I'm not talking about it. But as soon as Melody sits in that seat, that's the first conversation that came up. And Tisha, she's doing her thing. Well, we were all talking about, Martell's dating Sheree, and Melody has this look on her face like, what are y'all trying to do? Where are you trying to get me to go with it, right? So she just has a look on her face. And I actually said she was looking like at everybody, like their nose was a snout and their lips were beaks, because she was like, I'm not getting involved with this. And we've seen her make these faces throughout this season. Okay. But let me see what people said. My husband knows I need to get my health together. I'm not thinking about anything else. If I don't feel like cooking, he orders food. My son comes in and clean, and that's that. Okay, Miss Carolyn, I agree with that 100%. And thank you, Miss Limbo Gamble. If you're rocking with the channel, join the membership and like the comments and subscribe. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. Yes, please do that. But anyways, Melody's looking at them because she feels like she's being goaded, okay, in my opinion. And then Nell Fletcher just ups and says out loud, well, Tiffany asked Sheree if she thought her poom poom, only she said the real word, was good enough to keep Martell. And I don't know if y'all saw it, but Chris Fletcher grabbed her like, what are you doing? It's vagina. Like he yells out vagina, but he noticed that camera's there. But he's pretty upset. And Nell just kept drinking her drink or eating her food. She did not look over. She went, oh, vagina. But y'all know Nell, I believe when she sat down with Melody outside and was like, I want to talk to you about what Martell had told her about the kids. She said, I'm a straight shooter. I don't mince words. I don't try to sugarcoat nothing. I'm a straight shooter. This is how I talk. So for people who may have been shocked, that's how she described herself. So I just want to put that out there. Okay. But somebody said it was a tacky conversation. Oh, thank you for rocking with me, LaDawn. I appreciate you for becoming a new member. But yeah, that went down, okay? Yes, thank you to all of you in the chat right now who's watching. It looks like 612 of you have joined the live. Please hit the like button. Please acknowledge everyone who is a new member or who has that little star behind their name. That means that they are a member of the channel. And please acknowledge our mods. If they, give you a little advice, go ahead and take it, okay? They know what to do. But yes, so all of that went down, right? Anyways, guys, I want to know what y'all think about all of that. Next, we get a conversation with the fellas. I think I may have misspoke in my review. I think I said that Martell asked for a meeting with Big Louis, but it was actually Louis who said, I need to talk to you for a minute. And he brought him outside. And Martell said, well, let me get Marceau. And of course, that's when Maurice also came out. Okay. Thank you, Kay. Thank you for rocking with the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for becoming a new member. Okay. Anywho, they go outside and then Marceau starts saying, well, is your wife a Karen? And I said he was being obnoxious because what the hell? I agreed with something that Dustin said. Marceau is notorious for gossiping and starting BS. We've seen him do it time and time again. What about when he brought all the boys to, I don't know if they were bowling or if they were at some sort of lunch or whatever, and he was like, well, this is what Van does for the other brother. Y'all remember that little nasty, dirty ass conversation? Anyways, he is notorious for that. He is the king of the Karens. So it's wild that he was like, so hyper and, well, you don't know what a Karen is and all that stuff. I was like, boy, bye, get yourself together. And I would have loved it. I would have loved it. Big Louis didn't have to push him or anything. I wish he would have just put his hand over his mouth and held his head and said, listen, cut it out. Go back inside. Okay. Go back inside. Like just put your hand over his mouth like you putting a muzzle on him and then push him in the door. Okay. I would have loved that. But Martell is sitting up here talking about, I absolutely have a right to address your wife. And he was like, do you? Like, what if I would have came to your wife, referring to Marcel, and you don't have a right to address her. You always come to me if you got a problem with her. Anyway, I felt like he was rationalizing too much. I thought he was asking too many questions. I think at some point when he went like this to his shoulder, I actually was with his three fingers like this. You don't do that to my wife. I wish he would have pecked him and pushed him over. Like, listen, listen, you know what I'm saying? I think we were all waiting for that, but they ended up squashing their beef. Anyway, again, I watched it, and part of me was just like, well, this is a fake conversation because that relationship isn't fake. So you acting like you had to defend her honor or address her about anything she said. The fact of the matter is, if you are actually saying all she is friends with benefits, then the question was actually appropriate. If all you guys are is bumping nasties, then what makes you think that your P is going to keep them? Who ends the relationship at this point? Okay. But y'all let me know what y'all think about all of that. Okay. And then the last scene we got Miss Tiffany. It looks like she was having some sort of crisis. Um, I don't know. She said that she was in pain. She said that she was also dizzy. And we're going to get to see what happens next because that was the cliffhanger. But when Lewis came in, I have to say, I appreciated that he saw her and he immediately went over and he said, "What's wrong?" Like, he was taking over whatever that situation was, and he better take it over. I'm gonna say that. But he looked like he was taking over when she was like, "Can someone dim the lights?" He was like, "Where's the lights for this room to turn off the lights?" But it looked like whatever she whispered to him wasn't actually what she was saying, because whatever she was saying to him felt like it didn't have to do with her having the emergency. That's what I'm gonna say. But y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comments, okay? And let me know what y'all think about it on this invite, because I'm about to invite you guys up so we can talk about all of those subjects. I know not everybody watches Love and Marriage Huntsville, so I'm going to give you guys a variety today. All of them very good topics, in my opinion. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Give me a moment to get this join link together, and then we're going to discuss what has been going on. Yeah, let's see. Okay, 1 second, guys. Y'all talk amongst each other in them comments, okay? Here's the join link, and I want to keep my membership link up as well. So let me get the membership link up. But yeah, you guys let me know what y'all are thinking. There's a lot of you in the comments right now. Also, let me know if those comments are moving too fast for y'all. I think I can slow it down a little bit. Now I need to go get the membership link. Hopefully this will work for both. Okay. All righty. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's do this. V and V. All right, here we go. Okay, right now I am dropping the link into the channel. Command V. And this is the join link, and this is the membership link. And this is replacing the first pin that we have, okay? So the first is the join link to come up on the panel. The second one is the membership link. And hopefully this helps, this one works. But if it doesn't work, let me know, because for the last 2 or 3 lives I've done, it seemed like it hasn't been working. So let me know what y'all think about everything. Okay, we got Kiki, we got LaDawn. All right, thank y'all so much. It looks like it works. Okay, hey, Miss Kiki. Can you hear me? Can you unmic? Hey, Miss Kiki.
Hey, how you doing this Sunday? How are you doing?
How are you? I'm happy to see you up here.
Thank you. You're doing such a great job, by the way. I've got to make sure I join today.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Listen, I've had some things in my head running around. Like, I need to talk to you guys. I was going to actually go live yesterday, but the temperature online felt so that I was
Mm-hmm,
like, I'm going to go out and just enjoy my life. So
mm-hmm.
I came on today. So what's up? What do you?
I think it's good that we give you guys that grace though, right? Like it's like we're glad when you show up, but
Yes.
we understand when you don't. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yes,
all
it's
good.
been a lot, and we need to get back to the topic. So that's what I'm hoping we can do today. But you guys have always been good to me, and I'm just gonna say that I shared what I had to say. I believe it was Memorial Day. I don't want to talk about that anymore. I want
Yeah.
us to literally talk about the topic. So we got
Yep.
some wonderful topics today. Okay, I talked
Yeah.
about Cardi B and Tasha K, and basically a judge saying, "Listen, assuming that she paid this million because the debt has gone down to 3.3. It's no longer 4.3. What do you think about that? What do you think about Croy locking Kim out of the family business? Um, Sherelle apologizing to Melody. Sherelle's another YouTuber who I like, by the way, just in case anybody thinks I do not. I watch her show. I love it.
Yeah.
Martell getting his youngest son a page,
Yeah.
an IG page, and making him a public figure. What do you
Yeah.
think about that? And Belle Collective and Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Um, for Cardi B and Tasha K, I get dizzy trying to keep up with it
Okay.
because Tasha K is running around like a mouse in a trap. Like she's like, I don't care what the judge say. What I'm gonna try this time. First, she was in Africa, and I think now she's filing bankruptcy. The main thing that I would say about that, Diana, is that she was warned, and I think that it's just when you I think it's one thing to report news or current topics, but I think that Tasha K went too far and she kind of not bashing another YouTuber or whatever, but I just think that she kind of got caught up in all the sensationalism of it and viewers. And so I think she's backed herself in that corner. It's just hard to keep up with that because she's always trying to figure out a way not to pay that lady her money. And I think that she's
Well, what do
probably
you
glad
think about
that
her paying what do you think about her paying a million? A million.
I, I just I don't know. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't
Uh-huh.
keep that one so much because it's always changing, in my opinion. I
Okay.
will say though, for the judge to tell Cardi B, just hold off. At least that gives her some breathing room. I can't. It makes me dizzy, honestly, on that one.
Okay. 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 Let's move on to the next one, girl.
Yeah.
What what
So
what else did you want to say?
I did want to say I live about 90 minutes from Jackson, Mississippi, when we discussed the Belle Collective. And one of the things that concerns me, I don't watch the show that much at all. Actually, I might peek in on snippets here on YouTube. And the reason I don't is because I know the city of Jackson. The city of Jackson is not glamorous, and it's not sections of Jackson that have like the potholes and the poor infrastructure. I think that sadly is the majority of Jackson. And so when I see the women on the show, in my honest opinion, I feel like there's an attempt to perpetuate a lifestyle that even if they potentially are living, it's not 100% authentic.
Okay.
Um, and I do worry about Cliff and his wife, that dynamic. And then with the whole them being in the new apartment or house and
Hmm.
her husband showing up, I'm like, I don't know what they're attempting to perpetuate with the male and female relationship, husband and wife relationship. Even if it's scripted, it just sends, I think, a very negative message. And
Hmm.
I don't think that we should need viewers that bad to kind of perpetuate that.
I understand. I want to thank Carolyn Mentor for being for rocking with the channel. Thank you, Carolyn. I also want to thank Harriet Westmore for rocking with the channel. Thank you, you guys. Okay, so Kiki said that she thinks that the show is you didn't like the way that was handled. Now, I want to say that prior to this even happening, prior to us seeing it happen on the show, this was actually something that Letitia actually said out of her mouth that her and her husband, when they first came on, they were having problems. They didn't start off as a perfect couple. And she also said that he follows her. So we've seen him do it a couple of times, including last season, right?
Yes.
If y'all remember, he came up, I think he was in that white car, wherever
Yep.
she was, and
Popped
she was
up.
like, "What are you doing?" Right. So he does this quite a bit. This is his MO. This isn't for TV. This is something he does. So I just wanted to say that too. But what did you think about them having the conversation about their husbands, Latrice and Letitia?
I think that it's interesting. I do think that it is informational. Basically, I do think that it does help other women or men, because you do have men that potentially go through it too. I think it did help to kind of um
Facts.
kind of put that out. And so I don't think it is for TV, but I just think what I will say is that, well, actually, you know what, Diana, it's
What's
just
that?
showing exactly how difficult it is, whether it's a man or a woman, to actually navigate a relationship like that. And
Thank
I
you.
guess because I got in my
Thank
feelings about
you.
seeing it on TV, it's like we don't need to see it, but actually, that's her reality.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to say this. I wanted to say, I'm happy you said that. And people, I'm not saying that you should see it my way. You have your opinions, and I respect it. I respect it. What I'm saying is, we would have never saw the Martell side of things. We would have never saw how easy it was for him to tumble down, and some of the things that we get to see and pay closer attention to now, if it wasn't for us giving someone a platform. Sometimes they don't even see it in themselves. But this stuff, if y'all remember, or I should say, I remember Marie, right? Marie actually said, I think she was asked, "Are you surprised by Cliff and Latrice's relationship?" And she said, "No. We all know that who Latrice and Cliff are. They've been this way forever. However, because I was in an argument with whomever she was in an argument with, I think it was Latrice, their relationship got overshadowed. Now that we're not doing that anymore, you guys are getting to see what really happens in this relationship." So interesting. They
I,
were always like this, and they applied. They signed up. They gave a tape that said, "I want to be on this show."
but
That's
you
why
know
I
what?
was asking you guys that.
What I will say, Diana, is
What's
because
that?
I'm here in Mississippi, what you see on basically, I think that because Real Housewives of Atlanta, because the Atlanta area really is kind of like, we're the Mecca of the South. The men behave or act a little bit
They
differently,
have
or
a
they're,
certain. You're right. They
yeah.
do.
And there's that, I think they understand more about, look, there's things that we can't put on TV because that's gonna mess up our bag. I think they're a little bit more understanding of that. But what I will say about Latrice and Cliff, and what the language was that I think that Martell and Marceau really try to utilize, is about the woman being in the house, or stop talking so much, or play your position, etc. That is, sadly, just from my perspective, because I've grown up in the South, it's that antiquated, in my opinion, antiquated thought process. And I do
Mhm,
think that the men attempt to treat the women as if they're property. And so
mhm,
even when he pops up on her like that, it's because you belong to me. I don't care
mhm,
what I do in the street, and I don't
mhm.
care how we fuss and fight the night before. You better not be moving like you single, because that ain't, you belong to me. And so I think that,
100.
yeah. And so I
100.
appreciate your perspective, because you didn't change my thought process. And what you actually did is you actually allowed me to kind of see it from just my emotional standpoint, and
Mm-hmm.
from a full vision standpoint of what a person does. How do you navigate that? And so I
Right.
appreciate you bringing that point up.
Okay. I'm happy that you shared your points. What do you think about the rest of the shows?
I think that it was just, uh I think that the meeting with the husbands, Lou and Maurice and Marceau and Martell and Love and Marriage Huntsville, near the end, I do think that that was basically a planned scene. And I do think that potentially production may have said, hey, we have to have this scene, because we do need Lou to kind of close that situation out as her husband,
Hmm.
because you saw Lou go back and forth, like, with the way he was interacting with the men. I also think they probably told them that was a planned scene, or just, look, y'all just discuss it, because they really can't stand to, I don't think, to have another volatile, aggressive type of scene they can't have too many of those, I think, in one season, especially if you have one person that's the common denominator in most of those scenes. So
Mm-hmm.
I think they, because, when they got into it with Miss Wanda at the Madani opening soft launch or whatever, that was wild, right? And so I
Sad,
just think they
sad.
wanted something like that again. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't watch Real Housewives of Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
because I'm just not interested.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just think that, like I was watching Carlos King with someone, another YouTuber last night, and I think that there is something about this core crew. And people say Nene won't come back, but there really was something about the core crew of women who started that franchise, who understand and get it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just missing something for me. My daughter finds it interesting, but I just don't watch it. I like Candy, but I don't feel like Candy Kenya can hold the show like that, because it becomes more about, well, not so much with Candy, but it does kind of become about issues and shade. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, you don't kind of get into their
They
lives.
don't get into their lives.
Yeah.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. And that's what we're missing. We're missing and I understand that Marlo's trying to bring it with her nephews and talking about her sister's mental health and stuff like that, but it's not enough about her. Her dating life, maybe we'll get a little bit more into it because I saw that's supposed to come up, but
Yeah.
it's not
She
enough
don't
about
let
their lives.
to her little shenanigans around Atlanta.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, what type of shenanigans, girl?
I don't know.
Let's talk
Look,
about
we know.
alleged.
I don't know anything about Marlo, but it's just kind of funny because one thing she will not talk about is her dating life. And
Oh,
look, me and my daughter went to Atlanta, and we were like, nah, we good, because Atlanta is just very different, and I feel like you always kind of have to have this hustling mindset, whether it's the way you present yourself physically
mhm,
or in how you get your money. And
mhm.
so, I mean, she's had a great life, but we just haven't been able to really get into like
Who is?
her and her dating life and her normal, day to day, as we have with other people on the show, I think. So, and I'm
I
pretty sure there's some good, I don't know any tea, but I think there's some good conversation there.
I agree with you. I agree with you. So let's see who's next. I got LaDawn. You're next. Hey, LaDawn.
Hey, Diana.
How
Hey,
are
chat.
you?
Well, I'm busting at the seams
What?
because there's so much you want to say.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I'm gonna start off with, first of all, I agree with everything the other caller said. Um, but I'm gonna start with
Okay.
Sherelle's world.
Okay.
Um, I didn't know she came out and apologized, but I'm glad to hear that because I was a subscriber to her. And when that particular um, video, I was up there. I for a minute, and I had to drop down. You know, I unsubscribed because I just couldn't believe the stuff I was hearing. So I'm glad because I did like her before that. So I'm glad she now sees the light. So I might go on or back over there and give her a chance. So that's how I feel about Sherelle's world. I did get turned off for a minute. All right. Now, the next is who? Who's the next, Diana?
I talked about Cardi B
Okay,
and
Cardi B. She need to stop it. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. A little bit about me. Years ago, first of all, my mother and father was on drugs. My mother died of
mhm.
AIDS
Oh, I'm
due
sorry.
to her addiction. My grandmother raised me, took a village. I ended up on drugs and going to jail and messing up and didn't raise the first set of my kids. Wasn't consistent. I changed my life 20 years ago. Um, and I've been called everything in the book. Bad mother, D fiend, this, that, everything in the book. Cardi B been called every hoe, every tramp, everything in the book. I know she was trying to prove a point. I get it. But don't act like this is the worst you ever heard about you, because we know the lifestyle you did come from. So it wasn't like it would be too far-fetched. She just probably got the wrong thing. Yes, Tasha should have apologized when she did say it, but now it's going too far. She got enough money. She gonna still get money, but for you to try to put this woman's kids on Skid Row and in the shelter while you're trying to still prove a point is just showing what type of person you are too. You know, y'all are both cut from the same cloth. And I'm glad the judge said, enough is enough. You're going to still get it, but stop trying to strip this woman, because she do got to live. You know, she may not be able to live on your status, but she got to live.
Yep.
So that's how I feel about that. The next thing.
So I asked about Croy stopping the family business.
I agree. That girl, she's going to sell it and go to the casino and still mess up the money. No. And when you're going through a divorce, you're not supposed to touch assets and da-da-da-da-da. And Kim's selfish. She's going to take that, sell it, and use it for her own personal use. It ain't going towards the kids or the family. She's selfish. So I agree with him with that.
Okay. All right. So Latrice and Glenn from Belle Collective. Is it Latrice and Glenn? My bad. Latrice and Cliff. And then Letitia and Glenn. And then what's your thoughts on RHOA, if you have any?
Well, I just think she's too young, and not too young because she's mature for her age, but it's the wrong guy, because I'm 50, but I like older men, but I don't like older, unhealthy men. You know what I mean? And I think that the reason why, you know, because I felt like the other caller, like some of the shows, even Love and Marriage, I stopped watching because it was driving me, it was getting me like so upset. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we do need to see stuff like that, right? And I also think not just for the viewers, but for the people in the situation, need other people to see it. And it also gives them the strength and the courage to leave, because now everybody sees it. So you got to make a decision now.
But Dawn, that's a word. Do you know anytime anybody has ever told you anything secret or deep, they need to see their situation in your eyes. They need to see it. They need to see it from your mouth. I'm crazy. What's going on? Because my mind is wrapped and warped, and you don't see it when you're surviving it. We see it.
Yeah. But when you got all those other opinions and they're all leaning towards what you know is the right thing to do, you make that decision like Mel did. I'm out, you know? And I think she's going to be fine, because with or without him, she got a business mind. She's doing it. She's a beautiful young lady. She's a smart, go-getter young lady. And I hope this is a turning point for her, you know? And the same with Latrice. I've dealt with a man like, not Cliff, the other one. What's Latricia's? Glenn. When in my younger years, I dealt with a man like that. Oh, you think it? Oh, he really cares because he's jealous, or you know, or he's protecting me. He don't want nothing to happen to me. We thought that was cute back then, but then when we wanted to do something we wanted to do, and it was a problem, then that's when we start seeing this is just not cool, you know. But at this stage with her, I think she needs to stop coddling him. I don't care about his separation anxiety from when he was 6 years old. That's just even like with my kids. I don't allow my kids I don't parent out of guilt because of the choices I made 20 years ago. You're not going to keep throwing up in my face and think you're going to disrespect me because of the mistakes I made 20 years ago. I'm a different woman today. I'm a different mother today. I show up differently, and you're going to treat me according to how I walk and move today. So my kids don't have that option to throw up in my face. You wasn't there when they don't talk. We don't do that. Okay. So with her saying, oh, well, he got these issues, his father wasn't there, all of that. You giving this man excuses. You coddling him. Woman, please get up out of that. It ain't good for you. He's holding you back. He's controlling, and I don't like it. I don't like it, and I hope the other men viewers are looking at those men and seeing the signs and saying, you know what, if I act like that too, I need to check myself. You know, just like the women get something out of it. I hope the men are getting something out of it, looking at men that behave like this towards women, knowing they're going to have daughters, you know?
Yes, I know. And I think everything comes to its point. We all have that journey, right? We all got a walk. We got to walk. So everything you said, excellent. I appreciate you.
Okay, one more thing. Love and Marriage Huntsville. My number one show.
Okay, girl.
So I think that with the scene with the guys, I think it needed to happen because it's always drama and aggression between a man and a woman, but never man on man. So whether it was set up or not, we needed to see another man check another man. Okay, so I did need to see that. Yes, I'm glad they didn't fight, because we also need to see that you can have disagreements and arguments without fist fighting and dragging each other down. So I'm glad it didn't go that far. Now, Tiffany, I think Tiffany could be a drama queen, a bit drama queenish, like Drew, kind of. Oh, I fainted. It's hot. You know, I think that Tiffany, the fight was under her feet, okay? And she used that to get out of the fire, like she did with the monster thing when she started crying when they confronted her. And that season when Monster's mother and Maurice came and confronted her, and she started crying, and he started Lou put her head on his shoulder, his hip, you know. So the damsel in distress. That's what Tiffany does. I think she knew the fire was under her feet, something was going down, and she just wanted to hurry up and cut this scene. So she had to act like she wasn't feeling good at the same time of really being at the end and not feeling good, but put it on a little thick. You know, that's that little whisper. Don't get too upset. It's not life-threatening. I'm done with this. That was the whisper, allegedly, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. Don't get offended. I will say this. Lewis was the first one on the show, because we all know that the men get paid a check just like the women. You know, Real Housewives, the men do not get a check. The boyfriends do not get paid a check. But Lewis was the first one, and I think it was the anniversary at the baseball field scene where he told the guys when they were arguing with the women, let's go. I don't do this. I'm not with this. You will not do this in front of me. So I like that they kept him on track with that scene and saying, you need to address this, because it wasn't cool when you saw Martell doing it to Melody and you told him, let's go. And it can't be cool when he does it to your wife. So
that's right.
I like that.
All right. So that's how I feel, you know,
Yeah,
about the situations and stuff.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you. You can stay up if you like.
Thank you.
I'm going to go to Courtney. Hey, Miss Courtney.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are
I'm
you?
good. So my opinions today, as for starting with the Cardi B and Tasha K, I
Okay.
absolutely do not feel sorry for Tasha. I'm sorry. You know, I understand Grace. I understand we've been through this. But Tasha, I listen to Tasha currently. She still pokes fun at Cardi B constantly. She's constantly under the blogs, dragging her still. She's nothing has how can, and I'm gonna weave Martell into this. How can we want Martell to be so accountable to push forward and stop living in the past and stop doing the same things to move himself forward, but we're giving grace to Tasha K when she's still actively doing the same things. She's still actively coming for her. So Cardi B is actively coming for her money, you know, because she hasn't stopped. She gave her so many chances prior to
Actively coming for her money.
right. She gave her so many chances prior to the judgment to just say, I'm sorry, and take the stuff down. And she would not. All she had to do was say, I'm sorry, take it down. No money. Tasha still goes on vacation, still taunts her. So I mean, that's just like Martell owing that $17,000. He hasn't coughed that up. I'm sure if he wouldn't have been able to, I'm sure he used that to, of course they say he used it to buy his truck because he was down bad on money. It's not the person's, it's not for me to worry about your finances if you yourself are not worried about them when you have chances to do better. So I
Okay.
I can't
Appreciate
do
the
something for you
perspective.
that you're not doing for yourself.
I appreciate that.
Um,
Is this you, Darlene?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think it.
Okay. Nope. Who else is? One second. Okay, Courtney.
okay, then Kim and Croy, I really don't have much for them. Um, I don't know. Something about me wants to know: are they playing it up because they need the funds and they need to be back on TV? Because it's just out of nowhere they're having all this drama. I don't feel like Croy is wrong in stopping her with that business, but I don't know. I
Well,
don't
let
know
me
about
say
those.
this. I would think. Oops, do you have me on a? Are you playing me on a phone?
I am. I am on my phone.
Okay, it's giving me feedback.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So anyway, I think that when they called the very real police, that I don't think it became a issue for TV because they wouldn't be able to get back on the film. And at this point, Croy definitely, I don't think he's as interesting as it would be for Kim. So Croy is trying to stop Kim from um, muddying up his reputation. Because that's why he went down and filed for a divorce after Kim called the police on him, or he called the police on Kim. Called the police on Kim, my bad. Oh man, I forgot about that. He called the police on Kim to get her out the bathroom. That's how that mess started. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead, Courtney.
No, you're fine. And then as far as Belle Collective, I honestly don't watch Belle Collective besides what's on YouTube.
Mhm.
So I don't have anything for them either because I don't, I do see the controlling. What is a concern for me is owns. Um, it looks like the family structure that they show is always dysfunctional. The marriages they show, the men are always aggressive. Like I understand, especially in the ensemble cast, it's okay to have a healthy, positive um, relationship showcased. And I'm
Mhm.
kind of not getting that from OWN right now.
Well, people aren't talking about it, but there's other marriages on the show that are positive and healthy. They haven't had any issues. These two people just happen to have issues that people are discussing, and it seems like it's overriding everybody else's issue. But I think there's 4 or 5 couples on the show, and of that, we're just now seeing Latrice's situation, and I believe Letitia started off the show with her marital issue. But
Okay.
we didn't get to see that before. So people are just talking about it.
Okay. And I understand drama, drama is going to be what comes to the forefront. But I honestly don't watch that one. I plan on binge watching it soon. So I'll be able to give commentary one day. As far as Love and Marriage Huntsville or Real Housewives, I don't watch Real Housewives anymore. I did, however, watch the season premiere this year after many years of not watching. To
Mhm.
me, Real Housewives wives does not have a star player. Like back in the day when we had Nene, like the original cast, even the original cast with Lisa Wu and everybody, you had a few people that could stand out. Kim, Nene, they all played off of each other well, whether it was drama or positivity. They played. Here, the cast we don't really have. You can say Candy or Kenya, but they are more supporting to me. They're better at supporting the drama that's already going on or somebody. I don't see them as star players really.
Right.
It's just like they've lost that and they need to somehow get that original thing they had back. Because I watched it, I was so bored. It's like, oh, I'll never turn this back on. So, uh, and for Love and Marriage Huntsville, I thought the whole thing. I honestly think this is my last episode.
What happened?
It's my last episode watching besides like YouTube. I'll just catch up with the YouTube highlights because it's boring. It's totally boring. I feel like they're shutting Mel out. Um all of her scenes are like 5 minutes now, every episode. Like,
Mhm.
please. Nobody has anything to talk about their own lives. They're always focused on somebody else and their drama and making it about them. Um,
What you
it's
see on RHOA.
it's just I don't know. It's not giving what it's supposed to give. To me, I would never go to somebody's baby shower and talk about them. They could have had that conversation somewhere else. I'm not going to your baby shower when it's supposed to be celebratory time for you and your family and your new arrival and sit at a table and talk about what you said to somebody. Like they should have put that. Y'all should have met up somewhere else and talked about that because that was tacky.
Mhm.
Um, Nell was very tacky. Chris Fletcher is a mute. He never talks. Like he just shows up on the screen. He never has anything to say that we hear. Um, who else? The scene with Lou Marceau and Martell. I don't understand that because Lou was all over the place to me. Lou didn't stick to just like you're not about to come from my. If I've told my partner this is my stance on it and this is how I'm going to check it. Yes, I will listen to your viewpoints, but I'm going to check it. Leave it there. You know where I stand. Don't try it like that again. It was kind of like he was just like yeah, he was checking them a little bit, but then he was trying to be cool. I don't know. It was just all over the place. But I can tell it was chopped because we never saw the scene where Marceau said she should have been slapped. So you
Mhm.
could tell that they edited some things, but it's just not Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's like they can't get it right, and I'm done with the high school mentality that they have on that show. All they do is like for these grown people, like what are like come on that it's just it's I can't I'm kind of
Not
over it.
do it.
And that's basically all I have to say for that. It's just, it's a mess
Okay.
over there.
Okay, well, I appreciate your opinion, Courtney. I like when you come up and let me know your thoughts. But yeah, everything you said, it works. I
We,
agree.
we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, look, at this point, like I said, for me, the Martell storyline, y'all tried to give him a storyline. Y'all tried to make it seem like he had moved on with somebody, but he's not willing to. He's not willing to go with the lie. So, what was the point? You saved this man for nothing.
Exactly. Martell is very, to me, very confused about his own life. So it's translating in his interviews, it's translating onto TV. I think he initially agreed to do this thing with Sheree, and they did not capitalize. To me, they did not capitalize on it when it initially blew on the blogs. You had to wait for these seasons, and now he's seems like he's moved on romantically. So he doesn't really even want to play the part that he initially agreed to play, and it's just translating, and it's just like what are we doing here, so
I agree. Okay, you can stay up on the panel if you like. I'm going to move to Shell, I believe it's pronounced.
You can say Shell, Shelly Shell.
Shell.
My name is Michelle. It's
Michelle.
Michelle. How are you, Dyana? It's nice to talk with you and see you.
Too. Thank you so much for coming up. So, what's your opinion on all of these topics today?
Well, I'm not going to touch on all of the topics, but I like to focus on maybe two topics.
Okay.
And I usually don't, join in the live discussions. I listen in the background and I usually type in the chat sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot going on lately on YouTube. Y'all call it the YouTube streets.
The streets.
And so I was going to wait to see who I was going to choose to come up and just give my little 2 cents in my opinion, because I drop in every now and then on different folks that I really like to listen to. But I wanted to talk this time on a channel that I know is fair, even handed, that you are very good at delivering the information and reporting and your opinions and everything.
I appreciate you. Thank you for that.
Yes. Only one time you blocked me. We had a little disagreement, but it
Okay.
was a friendly disagreement, and I think I inboxed you, I emailed you, and we talked about it
Okay.
and everything. So it was cool. And that's the way I like things to be resolved that way, where we can disagree. Everybody has a different perspective on everything. Nobody has the same fingerprints. So you can't expect for all people to
A
to
lot
see
of
things the
people,
same.
right?
Yeah,
We're not going to, and we shouldn't want to.
exactly. And so that's where I'm going to touch on my subjects. I want to hit on Love and Marriage Huntsville, basically the interview. I'm not going to mention any other, content creators' names unless you give me permission, because I'm not going to talk bad about anybody.
Okay, I was
But
gonna say, don't talk bad about anybody in the chat, and we're
no, I
mentioning
wouldn't.
content creators' names right now. I mean, if you were speaking of Queen Sheba, that's okay because I've mentioned
There
her.
you go. You can do it. I can't. But
Okay,
that's what I was going to. You hit on that, the interview,
okay, the interview.
and also the King. You know,
Tell us.
um, his podcast with Dustin.
We just call it the recap, but the recap with Dustin. Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
And those two things is what really gave me the inspiration to, just to say my piece, because it's time for me to say something. Because
Okay.
I don't always think that, I think timing is everything. And, my perspective, my opinion, and allegedly is how I feel about what I'm about to say. So I'm not trying to say that these are facts or anything like that. It's all my opinion.
Okay.
But I think that, first of all, Carlos has not addressed, the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And everything has a root cause. When I was working, I'm retired now. We used to have to do when things fell apart or something didn't go through the correct way, we had to do a RCA. And that's called a root cause analysis. And
Mm-hmm.
when you get to the root of everything, usually for individual, that's where you can start to grow forward and you can put the past behind and you can let go of the bitterness and the bad feelings. And, we go into therapy for therapists to kind of like help us guide us through to that point. Martell hasn't got there yet.
Okay.
He hasn't even scratched the surface.
Okay.
And when he did the interview rounds with Carlos and everything, that was prior to all that stuff that had come out about the RP.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really got me,
Okay.
because this was before Mel even did her live to say confirm or deny or whatever. That's what really got me to saying, this is getting too far out of hand now,
Mm-hmm.
because you are really allowing a guy who is really still conflicted within himself, struggling, and he's bitter, and he's using the court and social media to emotionally and verbally disparage and hurt her. And it's like, I know everybody likes to watch drama. We do the CSI and all that kind of stuff. People do all kinds of stuff, but this is real life for her. And I don't know her personally. I don't know her as far as what I see on the show, and I watch her lives, and I patronize her business. And so, I fully support her. But the things that he does, and then during that interview, he kind of like exposed himself, and we could really see the person that he really is and how he has harmed her using individuals, even as cast members. And the young lady who came on the show during that one episode with the Tea Party, Dyana, she, to me, was the prop to get all of this going. And we always know that when you do anything, the energy can go positive or negative. Negative energy tends to bring everybody to a point of where they want to be divisive and arguing and mean to each other. But when you're taking people in a different direction, the positive energy is where you can get the uplift and the moving forward. And it seems like when you listen to Melody And with how she going positive energy all the time.
Mhm.
But you can feel the pull, or we'll call the currency of the negativity that's pulling around her and trying to bring her back down, or so like pull her back into a place where they're still at. She's God has taken her to a different level, and with her growth, and she's moved even with the divorce and how she walked us all the way through it from season one. When I saw her say on the back of that boat, "You should have kept your penis in the household," I knew that was a staple right there, when she was getting ready to show us her real life. And he was exposed that day. And he went and said, "Well, I don't care if I deal with 10, 20,000 women, or how many women he named. He always got a big number. You don't tell nobody." And see, his problem, right? This is where I'm going to this is all I wanted to drill down on for everybody to see.
Mhm.
He used the mistress to come after her, right? And when Mel revealed that TK was sought out by him, or he helped get that person on her show to talk like that, you could see almost that where's the love? When did
Hold on
you
one
ever?
second, Michelle. Say that one more time. Mel revealed that CK got who to do this?
When she came out on her live, okay, she was talking about Carson Blue, and she said she went to her cloud file, and she found the text message from Tasha K showing her that Martell had reached out to her
Uh-huh.
for this girl to get on her show. And she wanted, I guess, to see if Mel
For the
had
girl
any kind of
Ariana.
response.
She
Mm,
so she Tasha K was letting her know that Martell reached out to her and was the reason why she was interviewing Ariane.
right. And she was letting her know before the part 2 came out.
Mm-hmm.
And so she went on and read the exchange, and she said at the end she thanked her, and told her, wished
Right.
her well on her success and all of that. So he did that. Then we see this young lady come to the tea party. Nobody, I don't watch Ariane's lives like that, so I wouldn't have known if she was on her, friends or acquaintances. But anyway, you following, the YouTubers and the bloggers, everybody got their different things, and I do. And so I'm in the algorithm, as you used to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the algorithm, so I get a lot of the Love and Marriage Huntsville gossip.
Mm-hmm.
Certain ones I block. I don't want to hear because it's the way they report. I don't deal with the ones that be, giving it with the too much rage. I like to hear it rationally. But
Mm-hmm.
anyhow, when I saw the one with the young lady that came on the show
Cardi.
pops up. And I was like, okay. And then I listened to her, and I listened to, because see, sometimes when people are trying to explain themselves, they reveal more truth than the lie. Or you can, what Ray Charles used to say, Mama say, scratch a lie.
Mm-hmm.
You if you listen, you'll hear it. So when she got her story was, I believe her, but the story, every story, you drop stuff out, so you want to look like, you was, the good guy. But the part that got me was when she said that Tisha knew the whole thing ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
and that, she forgave her, for associating with her or whatever, and brought her into the fold, and she was her stylist for the reunion and all of that. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, here we go. And I listened to her. And then when Mel did her live and exonerated her, because there was no way that she would have known about anything that personal if somebody hadn't told her, and even the young lady that was the mistress. So
Right.
for him to sit on that interview, and two things he did that really it just nauseated me, was he lied from the time he opened his mouth until the time he got off of it, and he lied on his children, and he lied about that situation because he wanted to turn around and try to make it seem like Mel had plotted that out. But anybody that got rational, good sense, he thinks that the audience and the fans are all stupid. Marceau does too. Marceau Scott and his wife are behind all of this because they're friends with him. So Tisha brought her on the show with the intent, in my opinion, and allegedly, to get this stirred up. And recently, her makeup artist or her glam person got into something. It's out there now, and I watch Anthony all the time, and I like the way he report too. And he keeps his head, but he got his head in it. He know everything going on. Seems like everything he say comes to fruition one way or the other. So when he all that kind of like was stirring at the same time, because she was a distraction from us pointing at the fact that the root cause of all of this was Tisha, Marceau, and Martell, thinking that they was going to reveal that sex tape and embarrass her because of the Alonda thing. Because see, it's all going all back to the Alonda thing with her, you know, and getting that girl to come on the show, and she never came, but she brought her out on social media. So they always make their own problems, but they want to bring it all back to her, as if Mel was the reason. Mel is well loved by her fans, people. For their people that's listening that want to be hating on her all the time. Mel has a way of showing people her true self. Her soul is so good towards others. Because see, the last commandment that God gave us was to love one another, to love your neighbor, even when you don't like them, even when we get divorced from them, even when you lose in a situation. You might got a half a loaf and they got a whole. Favor ain't fair. But see, the same three people can't let go. And that's why they're stuck in that little, what I call the currency of negativity. And she's flowing out of it. She's in the flow of positive. And so we can see it. Those of us who have eyes to see and ears to hear, we can see it because we're in touch with the Creator and we love God.
So, Shell, this is my thing. We all of us had the same thought, like, oh, this person knows Martell's mistress or whoever she is right now, and Tisha brought her to the show. So there's no way to get around how that even went down, right? There's no way you could actually explain yourself. There's no way you could actually explain what happened there, correct?
Right.
There's no way for her to explain it. And she hasn't tried. And that's fine. That's fine. Carson has tried to defend Tisha and saying XYZ, but Tisha knew, even if Carson never said a word, she got a little joy out of knowing that girl's legs was parked under Melody's table. Period.
And but Dyana, this is what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. They know how you guys do your reporting. They know that there are some people, this is their bread and butter too, just like that show is theirs. Right. They were going to dig in and find out who was that girl. And when they got that nugget, three of them knew. This is what I'm trying. Let's just give me two more seconds. They knew that you guys would pull it out, and she would have to come forward. And see, God put favor on her part.
But listen, the point is, it wasn't a bad reflection on Melody. And for anyone who feels that,
no,
okay, because a lot of people have said this was a harm against Melody. It was not. Anyway,
it was an example of what people mean for evil. God would turn around and make it for your good, and He will reveal the devil in the process, and He will show you your enemies, and you will stand on top of them. See, and did you see how the whole time that was going on, she was far away from it, even though she was all up in it. And when that episode aired last night, and you could see how they do her, because it done revealed everything now. We done heard it. It's open to us now. We can see it. It wasn't a boring show to me. It was letting me see and confirm everything. And when Carlos brought the dude on, Dustin, and he did the recap for him, he was so poignant when he described Marcel. He was poignant when he asked him about, well, what do you think about Martell? The only thing he didn't touch on was the RP, and I was hoping he would take it there, but he didn't.
We keep saying RP, but that didn't happen all the way. The plot didn't go through. All he did was send the picture and then made the threat. It didn't happen though, and that's why nothing was actually came of it. When Melody sent it to her lawyer, they did what they needed to do in court, but it didn't actually happen, right?
No, it
We
never
don't know.
happened, but it was obvious that
It was a threat, but I'll say this.
it was all a plot to get this conversation out here, to get her to feel embarrassed.
Hold on one second. What I'm saying is, when it actually happened, would have been last year in August, Melody shared that on her.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
But we didn't see anything else. What is happening now is the information is coming out that is actually, it's saying for Melody, this actually backs the story you were telling. Because he could have lied and said it never happened. I don't know what the hell she was talking about. That was a lie. But the fact that the stranger came out and said it did happen, and here's what I know about it. What we are not paying attention to, or maybe we are, we're just not, it's not a focus.
Verbalizing it.
If they were willing to go as far as to get it to that girl, who else has it? And that's what they need to be afraid about.
But I think, I don't know, it was another person that was discussing this subject, and when he pointed to the custody situation.
So I'm understanding, Barbara, it was used in court. It was used in court. And now that Melody has this new information, we don't know what else she's been able to get to her lawyers. But
the point is that he is disseminating the records that were sealed to the bloggers now. He's doing it.
It's not sealed.
Well, I thought that it was a sealed, the custody part was sealed. That's what I thought. And that, but anyway, my point is, he is the one giving the information to the bloggers. He is the one trying to embarrass her.
You're right. For it. Exactly.
So when that situation happened 4 days ago, and when Queen Sheba did the interview, I thought she did a terrific job, but I couldn't watch it. I think I had the same reaction as a lot of people. He repulsed me so bad I had to turn it off, because it was like she had to pander to him to get him to talk. You know what I'm saying? And the more she got him, she buttered him up real good. He just, and when I think somebody either was telling him or he caught on toward the end. And that's when he started changing his reactions to her. And I had to watch it and replay that part. But yeah, I think that now that all has been put out there, and that OWN is not addressing it the way I think it should be addressed, because it's just not that. It's the whole situation. It's like, they came back, or she came back with the impression that they was going to have a truce, where they was going to get away from the plots and trying to, dig up the dirt, and, they was going to do the Black excellence thing this season. And then here they come with the mess. And then they brought some other people in with the mess. And I'm not going to talk about some of the other cast members and everything, but they brought a lot of negative energy on the show. And then the last thing I'm going to say is about the Bells. The last thing I'm going to say.
What I want to say before you go to the Bells, I want to say that sometimes we think what we see on YouTube is all there is, and we have no idea what's actually taking place behind scenes. So I do want to say that, because I personally don't think that Martell just showed up on Queen Sheba's platform. I think that he may have gotten a push from somebody asking him to talk about it.
Well, see, you can say that. I wasn't going to say that on your platform, because I don't want.
I'm not saying that Queen Sheba was bought. I'm saying that they selected Queen Sheba and asked for the interview. But I also believe.
But you know why they did that? Do you know why they did that?
She was not bought by any means.
No, but you know why she did? Do you know why they picked her? They picked her is because she interviewed that other young lady, the one that yes, that's why they picked her, because she interviewed her.
Melody. I want to just make sure we keep the facts. He said she had talked to Melody recently, and he wanted to come on and dispute that. That's what he said.
Yeah, but the interview that Sheba did with Melody was like way back. It was before that even came out.
Right. And I have a
And
couple of
then
people that
Sheba
I have.
had went on a mental health. The topic wasn't on anything but mental health. And
Okay,
they
so
would
hold
it
on
was
1 second. Hold on 1 second. So I have a couple of people that I want to interview, or a couple of people that I need to get to, because I have a person that I'm interviewing in 20 minutes. So I'm gonna let you finish out with what you had to say about Belle Collective, and then I'm gonna get to the next person. Okay. Okay.
wasn't informed of what I was saying. I knew that she had been on Queen had been on her live. She hadn't been on Queen's show, and it was just them talking about mental health. So no, that wasn't to me what prompted him to go on her show. I think it was the other young lady's interview. And
Okay.
then with the Belle Collective group, I think that Carlos is doing the same thing.
Okay.
That he wants to capitalize on a lot of the traumatic stuff that women are going through in relationships
Okay.
without
Hold
giving
on
them
for
the
1 second. Hold on for 1 second. Hold on for 1 second. Jocelyn, I am not defending Martell. I am defending the facts. If that man said that he was coming onto her channel because he saw Melody on the channel, that is what I'm going to share. I understand that a lot of people come onto these platforms, they listen to someone say, and then you run it back to whomever. But you don't get to do that here. If I hear you say something that's inaccurate and I know the fact, then I'm going to say it. And CK hasn't put me on his payroll yet, but if he does, I'll be the first to let you know. And anybody else who feels that way, y'all can move
Ooh.
on. I am
That's
tired
right.
of the bullshit.
That's
I
right,
didn't.
Diana.
That wasn't directed at me. I hope. I know I didn't imply any of
That was
that.
directed at the person whose name I have on the screen right now.
Oh, I
So
can't
Mm.
I'm
see
going to
it,
move on to
Diana.
the
I can't
next
see it.
person. I'm going to move on to the next person, and I'm sick of everybody who has something to say. Y'all can kick rocks
Rocks.
Oh
until you
my God.
turn bloody, okay? All right. Now, I'm very sorry, Miss Shell. I actually have to
I'm
go
gonna
to the
go
next
because I
person.
wasn't even trying to take it there. I didn't even think that somebody was picking on you in the comments.
That's
I
okay.
didn't even know. I can't see the comments. I
That's
turned
okay,
everything off.
Bill. It's okay.
So
You don't have
I'm
to worry
sorry
about
that it got
anything.
left on you.
Okay. So you ain't got nothing to worry about. Okay.
All
Let's go
right,
to
well,
Simply
I talk
Beautiful.
about Bill another time.
Okay.
Y'all, peace and blessings. Please stop all that madness. You know, we gotta come together as we
Thank
are.
you, Miss
We all.
Shell. Okay, let's go to Simply Beautiful.
Hey, Diana.
Hey, how's it going, girl?
It's going good. Look, I've been missing your lives because you've been going live early in the days and I'm at work. So I've been listening though. I don't watch Belle, so I'm not even going to talk about the Bells. But as far as last night's episode of Huntsville,
Mm-hmm.
the only part of the episode that I was interested in was the baby shower, in my personal opinion. But I
Okay.
thought the conversation at the table was rather tacky. Like, I didn't understand what exactly did they want Mel to say in regards to what Tiffany asked Sheree. I would have looked at them like they were crazy, and I would have got up and fixed my food as well.
Mm-hmm.
Stormy was looking for a moment to embarrass Mel, and it didn't work. She had egg on her face when Mel revealed that she was a speaker on that main stage. Um, Tisha was a little too giddy for me. And for someone who don't want nobody to talk about her marriage and the rumors of the boom boom room and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
she needs to pipe down. She really does.
Mm-hmm.
Lou, I Lou always talk tough, but Lou ain't about that action. And I felt like I understood where he was coming from, which is if you're my friend and you have an issue with my wife, you come to me. Don't go to my wife. But I felt like he let them off a bit. He let them off easy. If you're going to drive home that punch and, I'm about my wife and I'm not about, I'm going to stand up for my, then stand in it. Ain't no way I'm going to be laughing with these men. The way Marcel was talking to Tiffany, I think Tiffany was wrong for the questions too.
Mm-hmm.
But she asked the questions that everybody wanted to know. And to me, yeah, you can say, well, Tiffany's a cheater too. No, well, Martell's a serial cheater. We're going to put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as Martell's interview, Martell did exactly what I expected him to do, which is if you give Martell enough room, he's going to hang himself. I'm not surprised that he admitted to threatening Mel with RP. Not surprised by that at all. Because he doesn't comprehend well. Martell can listen to you, but he won't comprehend well at all. Him
Right.
trying to blame Carson. Look, Carson wouldn't know anything if you had not opened up your mouth to your baby mama. The fact of the matter that he sat in that interview and constantly tried to defend Arion is asinine in itself. I didn't understand that. And it's like he won't speak ill of that girl. Like, I'm disappointed. That's handled. No. You're in this predicament because you can't control that girl. It's not that you can't control that girl. You don't want to control that girl. That girl do all your damage. You put the battery in her back to always go at Mel, and you don't reel her back in because you don't want to reel her back in. I'm kind of confused with the whole situation that, oh, I don't want my kids on social media and television, but yet you're out here posting the outside kid? That's hypocritical. Oh, did she leave?
She ain't leave us, but I agree with you.
I just don't. Go ahead. Oh wow. I don't know, but yeah, I thought Queen Sheba did a fantastic job. I understood her strategy. She got him comfortable along with that INSY. The fact of the matter
Mhm.
that he couldn't even answer softball questions of tell us about yourself. He couldn't even answer that question. Everything was Mel roped into it.
But how messed up is he that he got this? He done told this coleslaw chick all the secrets, all the stuff, and now he got to cater to her for the rest of her until she feel like it, because he's kissing her butt. He didn't say nothing bad about her because he's scared of what she will say.
Well, you got that right. You got that right because I don't understand it. I was like Marcus, like either she got a gold mine down there or, or you scared of something.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that, y'all. I had lost my camera. Okay, so I still was able to hear you though.
Oh
I did lose somebody. It was Simply Beautiful. You're still talking?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, go ahead.
And even with, to me, like when he said, well, I sent you all of the documents, he sent Queen Sheba all those documents, expecting that woman not to read all the documents. I really need him to stop saying everything went his way. Martell clearly doesn't remember things that he had said in the past. Like he kept saying, well, I needed to come on Queen Sheba's platform and refute what Mel said. Mel has an interview with Queen Sheba in some time. The last time she was on Mel's platform was for Mental Health Awareness Month.
Right.
But the real reason why he was on Queen Sheba's platform is because of that story Queen Sheba put up about a certain woman in Atlanta not named Sherette. That is the real reason why he brought his behind up there.
Right.
She hit too close to home for him.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree with you. Okay. Let's see. Can we get a clue? Was that all you had to say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all I had to say. I just thought it was a great interview. She did what needed to be done. And
I agree with
Own and Carlos look like clowns now, not coming out and saying anything, whether it happened or it was just simply a threat. The
you.
fact of the matter that he threatened her, and then you find out that he was plotting against the mother of his children even before that threat is disgusting.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. 100%. Okay, thank you, Lee Armstrong, for becoming a member. Thank you for rocking with the channel. I appreciate you. And I appreciate you too, Miss Simply Beautiful. You know, I always appreciate you coming up. So
I will always support. I just can't do your midday lives.
okay. I'm sorry about that, but come back when you can, okay?
Will do.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, the next person is Get a Clue. What's up, Get a Clue? Are you unmute? Okay. All right. For whatever reason, I'm not able to talk to you, so I'm moving over to Darlene. What's up, Darlene?
Hey, how are you, DyanaRozay?
I'm
Hi,
good.
everyone.
Hey.
Yeah.
I wanted to get straight to Hold on. Do I have some feedback?
Hold on one second. Nope, you don't.
Okay. I wanted to get straight into Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Okay.
All the other topics, I have kind of like surface level opinions, but I'm more so focused on last night's episode.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos and the other producers, they definitely put a nail in the coffin of what could be the future of Love and Marriage Huntsville. The reason why I'm saying that is because when I watched the recap last night, I noticed that the thing with Carlos is he is emotionally disconnected. He is so buried by the excitement of the drama that he can't foresee that he kind of sacrificed his #1 show.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because when it comes to Dustin, I think he is very introspective, and I think he has a very unique way of pointing out certain things. But
Yeah.
I think we all have to also be careful with his opinions too, to not be swayed too much by what he say, because he kind of missed a few things last night.
Dustin.
Yes, Dustin. And the reason why,
he missed him on purpose.
What happened?
I said, do you think he missed him on purpose?
I think he missed them because he's not that invested in what's going on with Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because when he was talking about the orbiters, the people, like, he wants to see more focus on the core 6 and particularly about Kimmy, Mel, and Tisha. When he talked about the orbiters and, when Carlos asked him if he liked Stormy, one of the orbiters that he was talking about was Stormy. Stormy don't bring nothing to the show at all. She thought she was going to bring something, but she can't help herself with not getting invested in her dislike or her disdain for Mel. You know what I mean? And last night's episode showed, like, whether a battery was put in her back or whether she thought that she was the biggest and the baddest ones to kind of like put Mel out as being a fan of Sheree.
Tell me what you saw last night.
What I saw last night was,
too, but you tell me.
Yeah. What I saw last night was, what I saw last night from Dustin.
Oh, I thought you meant with Stormy and Melody.
Well, yeah, with Stormy and Melody. Stormy, I believe she's egotistical, and she thought she was the one out of all the girls at the table that can ask that question. It kind of was put out that you were a fan of Sheree. Who asked someone that kind of question? What kind of question is that to ask someone? Think about that. Like, what kind of question is that? So what, you wanted Mel to say, yeah, I am a fan. You get what I'm saying? Like, you were trying to pin her in a corner to try to shame her and to ridicule her, and it backfired. You know what I mean? And what I feel like Dustin did not highlight, him and Carlos did not highlight that, because that is the very reason why I say he put a nail in the coffin of what Love and Marriage Huntsville could be, because the person that everybody loves, all of the bloggers that support Mel came from them feeling like nobody is speaking about what's happening from her perspective. You know what I mean? And it gave the show some extra legs. It gave the show some extra boost. But now we're kind of sitting, like, basically, I'm trying not to get too ahead of myself, but we're basically seeing that they're allowing emotional abuse to happen, and we can't take it anymore. Okay. And Carlos can't see that. He's so emotionally disconnected. You know what I mean? What else did I want to say?
And I agree that there has to be some accountability for where everyone is on this cast right now. And we haven't seen that. And I said that for me, it happened after the season 3 reunion. We already knew that Melody and Martell were going through their drama. But when we saw what was going on offline with Wanda, with the other brother, with all of that stuff, that's when I was like, this isn't a show anymore. I don't know what we're watching.
You can't and it's almost like it's gone too far. Like, the reality of it's gone too far. It's unredeemable. You know what I mean? If that's even a word. That's how I feel.
I'll say this too, and I'm happy you brought that up. When everything went offline, when all of that storyline went off into who knows where, because we all thought, listen, we saw Tisha and Melody be cool, and we were cool with that. We were okay with thinking that Tisha and Melody were cool in season 3 when Melody had invited her over for the taco party. But when we saw how off the rails it got on social media, and then they brought everything that happened on social media back to the show. We didn't really want to see that because we really wanted some closure to a lot of
Right.
the stuff we had already saw. And unfortunately, that drama continued. And that's where, for all of us watching, we're thinking we could probably handle one person having a conflict with
Right.
whomever. But when you have an entire group of people all at odds with one, it doesn't make sense for us. So
Yeah,
I
and
agree with you.
it's disgusting. It's actually really disgusting. I found myself really feeling like, oh my God, I cannot take this. Like, we all want to support Mel, but we can't. We can't. Under these current circumstances, it's very hard to support the show. It's almost, it feels impossible because Carlos is playing in our face. He's playing in our face. He's not addressing certain things. There's so many things happening behind the scenes, and it's kind of like I kind of feel like Melody is like she can't breathe how she wants to breathe. That's what it feels like. You know what I mean? It feels kind of suffocating. And what else did I want to say? I wanted to make a mention too about Lou, Big Lou. He's a principled man, and he's different from the others, right? And Martell, Marceau, and Maurice, they operate by a different set of principles, which is not that principled. He don't fit in with the group, you know, but he wants to because he's a part of the male cast. And that's what we seen last night. We seen that he was wrestling to still fit in, stay on code with the guys, but then realize I don't think like them. My perspective is not like them. So that's what we seen him going in and out. 1 minute he's upset, the next minute he's laughing. So he really don't fit in with the guys. He really don't.
I agree with you. So I'm going to just say this comment right here, Miss Darlene, because I do have a call that I have to make at 3. But this person said, I enjoy the conversation between Kimmy and Maurice because what they're going through, others are also going through, and that people need to know that they're not the only ones. And I want to say that this season, Kimmy and Maurice's storyline is really the only one that's focused on their own house and their problems. We haven't seen, at the very beginning, they gave us like, oh, Stormy wants a baby and Tisha wants to work out or wants to credit for the house, but we haven't gotten anything, or excuse me, credit for working at wherever, but we haven't stayed in those storylines. They've jumped themselves out into everybody else's mess. And that is why it's boring, to be honest. So I wanted to say that, but I appreciate you so much, Darlene, for coming up for the second time, because I know you were waiting. And I'm going
Thank you.
Clark, and then I'm gonna have to wrap it up. But thank you, everybody who came to the panel. So, Miss Courtney, what would you like to say?
I would just like to say it was just lovely being on the panel. I've already spoken. If you need okay, yeah.
I'm sorry about that, Courtney.
But it was lovely being on your panel. I love to hear the women's perspectives on everything, and thank you for letting me up.
Okay, well, I appreciate you as always. I appreciate all of you for coming up. Let me just move you down. You guys, everybody who supports this channel, everybody who became a member today, thank y'all for rocking with the DyanaRozay platform. Again, I have been trying to stay out of some of the craziness that has been going on YouTube, because it's really, I'm going to be honest, it's hard arguing or, letting people have it who just, they're sitting behind a black screen with a letter in the center of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who I'm talking to. So giving that person that type of energy or emotion is not really what I want to do. But I do understand that there's some craziness that's out there right now, and people are free to believe what they want to believe. But the people who follow this channel, you have heard me from the beginning. And I have been always pro Melody and her children and what they have going on. So you guys can choose to believe what you want to believe. I'm not addressing this anymore. My moderators have all the right to kick anybody out who comes in with that garbage and starts disrupting my platform. That's not what we're here for. People have different opinions, and I would like to hear the opinion. That is how we grow. Okay. For those of you who want to spread gossip and nonsense that's not rooted in truth, or just because you want to hear somebody call someone a name or curse, that's not what I do. It's not what I've ever done, not in my videos, and it's not going to be on my lives either. That's just how I prefer to be. But you can find your tribe here on YouTube because there's plenty of people who have exactly what you want. I may not be your cup of tea, and I'm okay with that too. But for everybody else who enjoy this panel, who follow me, I thank you and I appreciate you so very much. That is pretty much it, you guys. I think that this was a fantastic live. I thank all of my panelists, all of my moderators. Thank you, guys. Thank you to everybody who joined today. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one, hopefully tomorrow, because I do want to keep coming on and doing these lives with you guys. And that's it. I know I have more people that's for me than against me. There's just like one or two very loud voices, but that doesn't mean that they're right. So for those of you who like a rational platform, who like to hear common sense information, this is the panel for you, okay? Other than that, I will check you all on the next one.